Et voila, this is actually our landscape of chicken, pineapple, watermelon and Thai dressing. Absolutely fantastic starter for a 4-course menu, which we do. Very summery, very, very great things to start with. Very fresh, very clean, uncomplicated, delicious, beautiful textures. Et voilà. Eat is such a powerful word. It's an amazing word in a context of what I do every day. I'm born to cook. I'm born to feed people. And then many people had to be fed, but fed in many different ways. You can eat food, you can also eat the experience, you can feed the soul of people. So there's a lot of dimension to the word eat. Eat on its own, it's feeding, it's food, it's nourishing, it's giving, it's sharing. So that is the meaning of the word. There is braille underneath the name because I served my gift to myself for so many years, thinking I was damn good. But just to realize that actually I'm being given a gift, and a gift to feed people, a gift to cook and to serve others, not to serve me. And the moment I served others, I realized that I'm a lot happier than ever before. And the more I serve other people, it gives me an opportunity to feed people in different dimensions. It gives me also to come to realize that food, it's all that I am. I'm born to do that. So I put the dots underneath the name, the braille, because I realized that I was blind before. The Amazing Grace. And then the penny dropped when I was 40 and realized that that gift was given to me to serve others, not to serve me, not to be self-centered. I realized that there's a lot more to it than any other words. I'm French, and that kind of strong French foundation, the apprenticeship that I received when I was in France, in those Michelin star restaurants, has given me a very good start to realize that France is such a small country in the world. There's so much more. The Asian food, the influence of Asia. I went to the Caribbean, and in the Caribbean, a lot of spices, a lot of character, a lot of food there to be also learned. And then coming to Africa, now can you imagine having such a strong foundation and you build up so much different models and style of food based on that French foundation. We're going to flirt with the spices on the food. We're going to change slightly sauces to be reduction rather than being roux base. So no liaison and thickener element to it, more reductions, extraction of flavors from ingredients that you don't find in France, infusions of certain herbs that you don't find in France. Asia is a strong element to my cooking, and the Caribbean as well. And I don't want to lose that foundation that I have, that tradition. I'm French, I'm born French. It's my rock, it's what I stand on. But the world is such a big place. I've always been wanting to be a chef. There was nothing else in my mind. I was already sure to become a chef at the age of 4. At the age of 8, I really started to work in my uncle's restaurant. And having had a restaurant and coming from Africa, because I grew up in Africa, coming to my uncle at the restaurant obliged me to stay at the restaurant until midnight at night. I even had a bed underneath the bar. So I started at a very young age. Age of 12, I received my first uniform. Age of 14, I was every weekend, every holidays into my restaurant, in my uncle's restaurant. So I really never thought of doing anything else. But you see, when you're young, you can't die. When you're young, you're arrogant as. When you're young, you want to fight. You've got like extra fire in you. It's like nothing is going to happen to you. So I had that at the beginning, and I became extremely arrogant very, very quickly. Let's smoke chefs. A chef that is not arrogant cannot succeed. I started as well in Michelin star restaurants, so a very difficult path. Very, very strenuous, very difficult, very competitive. And then I started to become who I didn't want to become. So yes, at the age of 40, when a penny dropped, I realized that all that is not necessary. Food has a spiritual element to it. It's not just food and competitiveness and I want to be better than everybody else and I fight my way in and I'm going to be flipping good. Though I wouldn't be good if I wasn't given the gift to start with. And that's why the penny dropped at the age of 40. And age tells you that one can become wise and a little bit more mellow and a little bit more together with time and with age and experience. And I think that's what happened to me. Food for me is consistency, flavor, substance. I want to go back into basics. I think a certain movement at the moment in doing that terroir element, local food, food that is produced by local farmers, free-range beef, free-range pork that is from nearby, you know, so trying to work with that kind of terroir, new fields. A few restaurants are going there and leading towards new area. We're going to look at doing things which are totally different in the technique of preparation. So through marinade, through very slow cooking, through, you know, they say saucepans belongs to museum nowadays. You cook in so different ways. You cook with acids, you cook cold, you know, you cook with vacuum pack, so sous vide. So there's so many different techniques now. It's more on the technical element, but more into concentrating on the style of cooking. You know, a little sucking pig rack for me will take 16, 18 hours of very, very slow cooking to give you the most beautiful, soft, juicy piece of meat. Oh, I'm hungry. In fact, cheers to that. There's a false impression that if you're going to become a chef, you're going to become a celebrity. Because you've got a Gordon Ramsay of this world and so many others, I just don't wish to say everybody's name. But it's not the case. That only in a very, very small amount of the population that comes into the kitchen succeed to that level. You don't have to be a chef to be a foodie, to be a gastronome, to be an Epicurean. You can just cook home. You can be someone that's passionate about food and entertain every weekend, and you have the same kick. So you either need to be born for it, and the only way for you to know if you're born for it is to try it. So try before you decide to become a chef. There's not enough kids I see at the age of 14 to 16 wanting to do some placement in restaurants, in the kitchen over the holidays. They're more into video games and more into different types of social things they like to do nowadays. But if I look at my son, he came to the restaurant at the age of 12 to serve into the kitchen, to do the kitchen, but to serve as well in the restaurant, because I want him to know this is what it is. Do you really want to do this? Do you understand you're not going to have a birthday celebration again? Do you know you're not going to have a Christmas again? You know you're not going to be able to actually have some time off to have fun. You know you're going to have to work 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. Are you prepared for that? And you know you're not going to get paid much, because there's not much money in it. You only have money when you're actually a celebrity. And that, again, is such a small amount of people. It's like become a comedian. You know, not every comedian is going to make it. Not everybody's Trevor Noah. You know, so realize that, but expose the kids at a young age. Just have them to be exposed to that and to have a certain level of orientation. And I'm begging the schools to spend a lot more money in orientation, integrate trades into your education from 14 onwards. You know, it needs to know, are you going to become a carpenter? Are you going to be an engineer? Are you going to be a chef? Being a waiter is a trade. Knowing how to serve people is a trade. You know, become a sommelier is a trade. Don't get that illusion of, well, they're servants because that's all they can do. and it's actually booked and reserved for those who do not have an indication. So it's not just a small trade for people that are not succeeding, because you're always going to have a bad service then. Not enough emphasis is put into this. So that training and that passing over my knowledge, my skills to others is the #1 priority in my restaurants. If not, I will never have a good team, therefore never have good food, never have good service. And that's what I say. Give all that you have. You're here because you've been given a gift to serve others. And serve others, it's customer and not customer only, but it's also the people that works for you. And it is also your suppliers. Your suppliers need to do things that you enjoy serving, you enjoy doing. You know, the specification you have for your butcher, kill your meat in such a way, hang it in such a way, prepare it, and this is a French trim, this is how I would like you to prepare it. You know, just education, 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 education at all time. So kids, if you really want to become chefs, if you want to be in a trade, it's gonna have to be a lot of hard work. Think about it first, then come to me.